My name's Dave Price. I'm a musician and a composer, and I've been making a podcast with a storyteller called Duncan Williamson, who was one of the great Scottish traveller storytellers. So the podcast features Duncan talking throughout. He's narrating the story of Silkie's grave, and what I've done is to underscore that with music throughout. So there are several sections that go with the sections of the story, and my contribution is entirely sensitive and a response to Duncan's story. There's one theme in there, Silkie's grave I've called it, which is very Scottish sounding, so that was a great opportunity to get a whistle and get the fiddle out of its box and the guitar and to try something actually new for me, which is to make very traditional sounding music. The story, Silkie's grave, is part of a collection of many stories known as Silkie's Tales, or Tales of the Seal people, which were traditional Scottish stories about people who were lost at sea and who took the form of a seal. So they're mythological creatures, and it kind of connects to the While You Wait theme in the sense of people waiting for loved ones to return who they never come back. So working with Dr. Hope Wolfe, she introduced me to some academic writings about storytelling, which was very informative to gain a sort of wider understanding of some ways of thinking about what storytelling is. In particular, there was an interesting discovery, which was that of the fireside tradition of storytelling, as opposed to the more modern performative style of storytelling. And Duncan Williamson was very much the fireside type of storyteller. Dr. Wolfe actually encouraged me to really leave the audio recording of Duncan intact and to not really mess around with it anymore. I became quite taken with the idea of this being a sort of fireside story session. And also there was another interesting idea that Dr. Wolfe introduced me to, which is the idea of the gift of listening, which comes from a well-known essay called The Storyteller. The basic idea in essence is that you need to be relaxed almost to the point of boredom in order to receive and to remember a story properly. And in days of old, the sort of repetition of manual labour was the kind of perfect state in which to really listen to a story. I think the best state to listen to this podcast would be with a glass of whiskey on a winter's evening by the fire with little else to do.